Good evening, everyone. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Irons channel, and it's another special show. I was going to wait until tomorrow, but a few things have come out, and I just wanted to get my piece out there, really, as you know the way I do, really. So the news today, amongst other news that we always filter through our ever EastEnders club, is that JARROD Bowen, his contract expires in 30th of June to 2025. So yeah, not long to go, and certainly shouldn't leave it that long as a club if you are seriously about securing a player. So like Rice, yeah, it's getting a bit tight, really. And the news coming out is, yes, some people are saying that talks have been ongoing, which they have since the summer. Some people are saying that he's likely not to sign. Some people are saying we got no choice. The club need to sign him. We can't do without him. Listen to my view, common sense, straightforward talking. If his contract is about to expire in June 2025, right, it's obvious to me he doesn't want to sign the contract, right? And I kind of understand why as well. We are not the top four, strongest teams, top four, top five, top six strongest teams in the country. Whether that's Man United, whether that's Man City, Chelsea, Liverpool, if you want to add in the North London gits down the road to that list, controversially, and we're not going to be in the Champions League anytime soon, likely, and never have been, right? Won a trophy last year, that's fine. Declan gave him one more year, understanding, a couple of years younger than Bowen, but Declan was kind of, we got an agreement done between Sullivan and him where he had a couple of years left, and then enough time in his contract was left where it suited both parties, right? So he didn't leave it really late, and we kind of got, good money for him, and he's gone off to the wilderness with Arsenal and see what he does over there. And one of the things is obviously when you join a club, when Bowen did, Rice was there, you make your name together, you grow as a team together, and you see your, perhaps best colleague, captain anyway, best player at that time, go to join Arsenal. You're going to have often phone calls saying, Jarrod's going to say, how's it going? And he's going to say, which he has let it slip in the press, it's like, it's a different ball game here. We actually set up to win every game, unlike we did with David. It's like football. It's a totally new way of looking at football. And Bowen's obviously jealous with the Champions League, where Declan made his debut recently in the Champions League. And Arsenal, whatever you think about them, they've got a reasonably good manager, plays well, a good squad. And they'll be there or thereabouts in the top four again, perhaps more than likely in the Champions League again, really, at a minimum, right? And they've got the clout, history, that kind of thing to keep going for trophies and things like that, really. And if Bowen was going to stay at West Ham, we would have tied him up in the summer, right? And it's obvious he hasn't signed. Doesn't want to sign at this moment, it's obvious, right? And it's obvious to me as well that Klopp has been linked with him for a while. He's a Klopp player. He runs all day for you. He's got reasonable pace. He's got stamina, strength, can run up and down that wing, cut in, can also score, play in any of those front three positions or back three or one or two up front if you wanted. So no surprise to me that Klopp wants him. Very good injury record. Hardly gets injured. And Arsenal will be sniffing around. We don't do any business with Spurs. They've been linked with him as well. So I just want you fans to accept that, first of all, I agree. Bowen will not sign a contract. On the back of that, that's fine. No player is bigger than any club. What we must do, which perhaps we've done with Kudos. Perhaps Kudos is the Bowen replacement. I don't know, because Kudos doesn't hardly play. And when he plays, him and Bowen are on the same pitch. What I want to see, like I said, was 4-2-3-1 with Antonio up front, and then Bowen and Kudos and one other behind, and you can see how they all develop, really. So it looks like perhaps we have bought Kudos for that reason. I don't know. He kind of plays in that, he can play in that Bowen position. And we've got to literally got up to Christmas now, whether we're really going to change it. If he does sign, it'll be on the back of a clause. I'm definitely sure there'll be a clause saying, I'll sign it, you bump up my pay, I'll stick around another year, but you got to let me go next summer. And in return, there'll be like a clause where if it's met in terms of a price, like 100 million, 90 million, 80, 70, whatever, then he can go, and that's fair enough, right? So if Liverpool really want him, they got the money, they can take him, and we'll get a set figure, so we're protected. That could happen, but what isn't going to happen is he's not going to stay at West Ham beyond the contract. I'll tell you that straight up, right? That's a given, and we must stop crying and saying the club must do this, club must do that, we can't do without him. That's a load of bollocks, right? No player is bigger than a club. Rice has gone. I'll tell you right now, I do moan about a lot of things, but we are in better shape as a team, as a squad, than when we had Rice. We're better. End of. Right? We could have done one or two better things, like I keep mentioning. Perhaps spent a little bit of that money on the striker, got some younger fullbacks in. But apart from that, we are in better shape. I don't think about Rice anymore. I'm sure you don't either. If Arsenal are playing, or if he's got an interview, I just flick the channel. I'm not interested. Like I said, when Rice left the club, he had nothing to do with me anymore. I didn't wish him good luck. I didn't wish him bad luck. Nothing to do with him. Neutral. Job done, right? So we've got to stop that fascination. History tells you the club will remain, the supporters will remain. Sometimes in our situation, the ground doesn't even remain. Upton Park, rest in peace. So don't worry about it. Listen, when Tony Cottee left in 1988, I was 14 years old, and I thought the world come to an end. I was depressed, especially when you lose strikers as a kid. You love goal scorers. And we did struggle after he went. We played Alan Dickens up front. We didn't sign any replacement. I mean, Leroy Rossini came in. Actually, he was playing with Cottee. It wasn't him. I think David Kelly came in, didn't he? Which wasn't really that good. And it took a while. It took a while before we got there. And it is difficult to replace good players. I argue Bowen that. He gives 110%. Great player, does really well for us, one of our top players, but if he wants to go, then he can go. That's the end of it. But we have tried, I'm sure we have, but he doesn't want to sign. Stop wasting time, right? And what you do then is hopefully he's got a sensible head on him, and he'll agree that West Ham should get reasonable, adequate compensation. What you don't want to do is the relationship to break down between the club and Bowen. That's not nice. And Bowen could put his foot down and say, sod it, the way you're talking to me, the way things are, the way you're treating me, I'm going to stay until 2025 and not get a penny. It can easily happen, but hopefully it doesn't get to that. What we do is stop wasting time. So I would just listen, Bowen, 100 million clause in there, mate. Anyone meets it, even in Christmas, I'm not protected. You can go. We're happy, and in the meantime, I'm happy to bump up your pay a bit. Keep playing the way you are. You are one of the team's high performers. End of. So any channels out there saying we must do this, we must do that, ain't gonna happen, mate. Right? We've already done it. It's not happening. Similarly with Rice, a gentleman's agreement to stay an extra year. End of. Hopefully, like this one. This one will probably go down a route, could be where we put a clause in there. I think bump up its salary till the following summer, and unless I don't think there's a clause in there at the moment, and I don't think he'll want to stick around another year and a half, 2 years when you don't want to be there. It's not good for him, even though you could go on a free and make abundance of money in the new signing on fee contract. I don't think that's going to suit anyone. It rarely happens. You know, players rarely put in transfer requests, and players rarely piss a club off to that effect. They refuse to play, or they don't want to sign a contract for 2 years so the club gets nothing. I don't think that happens, rarely. So I think he'll be gone next summer, and we'll hopefully get what we think is a good fee. He'll be 26, 27. He'll be England international. I don't think with us, because the way they treat non-top four teams and Gareth Southgate and people like that. As soon as he signs for top four, like Liverpool, he'll be a regular for England, right? That's how good he is. Just needs to improve on his finishing a bit more and a few one or two other careless things. But most of the things he's got it. He's got it in him to be a really good player. Solid, doesn't get injured, strong, bit of pace on him, and yeah. So I think, yeah, let's look for a replacement. It could be Kudus already. That means we can spend this money on perhaps, like I said, a proper striker or freshen up the fullbacks positions at the back, really. Same thing with Paqueta. He'll go straight away. Top four, you can't stop these players. If Man City, Liverpool come for your players, you've got to stop kidding yourself and think the club must stop this, the club must stop that. That's a joke. You saw that in the summer. Brighton put their foot down quite a lot with one or two players. It doesn't happen, right? The only weird one was Harry Kane, but they're weird. Daniel Levy's weird. Kane was stupid to have his brother as his agent, didn't put that clause in there. That was a calamity story. But yeah, Bowen's going to go, so shouldn't be really wasting any time thinking about that. Let's enjoy it, and then let's get excited about the money coming in, and let's go into the market again, get 2-3 players in, freshen up again. New heroes coming. I saw lots of little children at the weekend with Ward-Prowse on the back of their shirts where they would have had Rice. Life goes on. New heroes are born. Club always stays. We always stays. Bubbles, clear and blue will always be there, really. So that's kind of my kind of take on it, really. Yeah, the truth is he's not going to stay beyond this season, right? Just accept it. And let's just think about the money coming in and how we're going to use it. Let's give Kudus, let's start to play Kudus more and more, especially from the beginning, before we go down that Haller, Skamaka route, which I'm really afraid of, as you know, from our recent shows, really. That's really more or less what I wanted to say, is that I've got a very clear-cut view on a lot of things concerning West Ham, as you know. I'm black or white, left or right. I don't mess around. And, yeah, let's just enjoy his last season. And in the meantime, get the scouts looking at how we're going to spend that money, who's coming to the end of the contract. We're not the only club. I had a quick look, and people like Ollie Watkins are in the same predicament, same contract as Bowen. So Villa are looking at that. And you got other teams with same situations. It's nothing new. Watkins, there's no interest really from any concrete club at the moment, and they're on a very high spiral up curve with a world-class manager and that kind of thing, and wealthy owners. So not sure what he would want to do, and he's got time on his hands as well, ready to move around. But that's it from me. Again, thank you for your all the chats, all the comments you did for the Kudus show, which went through the roof. I really appreciate that, and I will be doing more and more of these as the important topics come up. So again, put your comments in the box and let me know if you agree what Jazz is saying, which is, listen, mate, thank you for your time. Let's get the money. Let's not fool ourselves. This is his last season. End of. Come on, you irons. That's it. So take care. Have a good evening, and hopefully I'll be back with a couple more shows tomorrow or the day after. Take care. Come on, you irons.